Welcome to Fall, Rise, Give, a space where we invite you to dig into the real cause of your suffering, looking at opportunities for growth with a change in your beliefs, thoughts, and actions so you can be your true self and be inspired. Join us as we explore life's ups and downs and navigate the twists and turns, sharing stories of resilience, hope, and the transformative power of giving back. Whether you're looking for a change, in recovery, or simply seeking inspiration, this podcast is your go-to for candid conversations, raw emotions, and a whole lot of heart. Tune in and discover how to fall, rise, and give back on life's extraordinary journey. Welcome to another edition of Fall, Rise, Give. Turn struggles into opportunities by being your true self and help others. How you doing? I'm Bartender Bob. We've got Kumar, and also our special guest this week is Clay F. And Kumar, I don't know if you knew this or not, but before we went on, I jumped on with Clay, and we talked a little bit, and I asked him if he was related to Axel F. He said no.
It's okay. Nice.
Well, welcome to the show, guys. So, Clay, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about who Clay F is.
Well, Clay F is not my real name. It comes from clay feet, meaning feet of clay, meaning I'm nothing without God. And I use this name because of the traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. That's why I don't show my face as well. So it's kind of an ode to somebody who really helped me get sober many years ago. He used to sign his letters to Alcoholics Anonymous, feet of clay. And then also I just know that I'm nothing without God. So that's the name.
That's great. Clay, you've been sober for a long time. Do you want to tell us about your journey and just what you've learned and what you've grown to be today?
Yeah, I started drinking when I was 9 years old.
Wow.
I had really no parenting whatsoever. Had a fully stocked bar in my room when I was 11. Started smoking pot when I was 11. Started smoking glue when I was 12. Which is not a very good high, and it's not very popular. But I just wanted to feel different, and I started living like an adult very young. And by the time I was 15, I really started to try to quit drinking, and I couldn't quit drinking. And a lot of trouble with the law. Family left the state and said I was not invited when I was in high school. They just left. Became a daily blackout drinker who loved to drive. Got arrested a bunch. Became homeless. And died of alcohol poisoning finally one last time when I was 18 years old. And went to AA because I had no other choice. My entire life was saved.
How were you able to overcome that from, dying from alcohol poisoning to here it is 35 years later, and obviously you're still here?
The steps. The 12 steps. I am alive because of the 12 steps. I'm sober because of the 12 steps. I have no power over the first drink. Still. It's not my doing. My job is not to stay sober. My job is to do my best to live a certain way that causes a byproduct of me being able to stay sober. I'm trying to live a life that was worth saving. Do
you feel like you've reached that point?
I have no idea. I don't know. If I try for the rest of my life, I still will not know. There's nothing I can do that would ever warrant the amount of grace I have received. There's nothing I can do, but I'm trying.
Let's talk a little bit about struggles, Clay. What have been some of your biggest struggles?
Since getting sober?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think so.
So, when I first got sober, it was just a roller coaster for many years, for a few years. It was just a huge, schizophrenic roller coaster, really. And I was filled with faith. At 6 a.m, at 6:15, I wanted to die. And at 6:30, I wanted to drink. And at 6:45, I knew I was never going to drink again. And then it was just like that. And I don't know how I got through that, to be honest. It was really, really hard because I spent 2.5 years trying to figure out something that's already been figured out. And I just drove myself nuts. And that was a real struggle. But I have to say, Since I received the message that I have today in terms of how to try to live, um, it's been pretty incredible throughout. I've had people murdered and suicide, and huge health scares, and everything you can imagine. Everything you can imagine somebody going through in life. 35 years I've gone through, but AA is an all-terrain vehicle. The biggest struggles are trying to stay unblocked from a power that's greater than me.
I think the connection with the higher power, and we're not afraid to use the word God here. Both of us grew up Catholic, and we try the show to be as authentic as we can. It sounds like your spirituality and your connection with God is one of the prominent values that you try to live by. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, there's nothing more important in my life. Yeah, God is the most important part of my entire. It's everything. My connection with God is everything to me.
Did you know God before you became sober?
Oh no, I was a very, very vocal, staunch atheist. Not an agnostic. I was an atheist. I knew there was no God, and I could prove it.
So if you had to go back and talk to your 17, 16, 15-year-old self, how would you dispel that proof now?
I couldn't. There's nothing anybody could have said to me. There's nothing I could say. I know that now more than ever. It's something you experience or you don't. And I had no ears back then. None.
One of the biggest struggles for me, Clay, is I got all sorts of thoughts and beliefs, and I'm a very spiritual person. I do Christian prayers like Hail Mary and Lord's Prayer in my head all the time, along with some Hindu mantras and things like that. Kind of a dual faith person, and I like a lot of the Buddhist philosophies and stuff as well. How do you know when it's the voice of God that you're listening to, or if it's just some thoughts that you have? For me, sometimes I struggle to listen and say, hey, is this God's will or not? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I've come to the conclusion that I know when it's not God. I never know when it is, but I definitely know when it's not. And when it's manic, hurried, rushed, panicked, it's not. Like God doesn't talk to me this way. Okay, so check this out. Okay, listen, this is time sensitive. So you gotta, that's me.
So God isn't the snake oil salesman. You got to come on, let's go, let's do this.
No, there's just there's no worry in it. There's no. Usually, it's one word, two words. It's wait, no, maybe, hold on. It's never like, okay, so this has to happen. That's all me.
You know how you see a lot of things on Facebook saying that, you need to repost this by next Thursday or your child's pet monkey will end up getting smallpox, things like that. So it's never anything like that where there's a contingency on this, and this. It's like a, no. Should I do this? Yes. Should I do this? No, type of thing.
No, I delete those things now. 3 words into it. Life's too short.
Gabe, who sets up our interviews, sent us some information saying that you have written a few books about the Sarcastic Big Book and Sarcastic Daily Meditations. So has the spiritual journey brought you onto the journey that you're on with the writing that you do?
Oh yeah, it's just I think if I'm understanding you, I was moved to write that first book, and then something happened with it where it just became not mine right away, and really had a universal effect that I wasn't expecting. And then, the reason for the sarcastic books is that I have noticed that, if somebody says to me, you should be of service, right away my thought is, something along the lines of, don't tell me what to do, or I am being of service, or something like that. Uh-huh. But if you say to me, don't be of service, you shouldn't do that, it has the opposite effect. And inside I'm like, but shouldn't I be? Like, wait, am I being of service? So the whole point to all those books is that the opposite message is really delivered in a more potent way for me.
So who's the market of your books? Is it somebody in recovery, or is it the ally? Is it the drinker? Is it the person that's, who do you want to read your books?
Most people are in recovery, or they hate recovery, or they used to be in recovery, or they hate AA because Sarcastic Big Book is basically filled with things that people do in AA. That people who really hate AA, in my experience, don't hate AA. They hate people in AA not practicing AA. And Sarcastic Big Book is just kind of a log of what actually happens. And if you look at it, a lot of times it's just crazy. Even though I personally love AA. So. Want to hear a sarcastic daily meditation?
I was hoping to.
All right. Let's see. This is from my book, More Sarcastic Daily Meditation. Tomorrow's is going to be, when you first get sober, maybe change things up a little bit and focus on maintaining a relationship with your toxic ex.
With your toxic... Yeah, that sounds like a real way to help yourself back into the bottle.
Yeah. I mean, they're all like that. You're like, don't say anything nice about people until after they're dead.
Actually, it's funny that you'd say it that way, because there's a lot of people that's what they really do.
Oh yeah, yes.
Which is unfortunate. We don't give people that are around us the love that they need and the encouragement that they need. So,
yes.
So are you sarcastic in life as well?
Not really. No, not really. I'm normally, I don't know. I'm normally just making fun of, things that don't hurt anybody.
So writing, as you mentioned earlier when we first started, you mentioned that Clay is a fake name for you, clay being molded and whatnot. Is it hard to put out a book and put out your words, and then not have your real name attached to it, so that way you're not getting the kudos for it or the the accolades of being the person that wrote the book?
No, I don't want that. It's not. I mean, it's not. It's nothing to do with me.
No,
I never think about that.
So what have you gained, Clay, since you've overcome your struggles that we talked about a little bit earlier?
Oh my God. Well, to put it in regular talk, my head and my heart are connected. I wake up grateful. I have a sense of purpose. I've learned that God is bigger than anything in front of you. I'm not fighting with anybody in my head. I'm not trying to control other people's lives or what they do or how they do it. The drama in my house is my cats. And there's a lot of drama between them. One of them is an alcoholic.
Clay, you mentioned there's a drama in your life, and it's an alcoholic. Is that
no? The drama in my life is my cats.
Cats. Okay.
Yes,
that's amazing.
And I think one of them is an alcoholic.
One of the cats is an alcoholic. I love it.
Yes,
on the old on catnip, or just on
yes, so much fucking catnip.
Yeah. Does your cat ever attend the meetings with you?
You know what? I brought him to a couple, but it's really going to be on him to keep going. I can't make him go.
That's true. That's something that he's going to want to do himself.
Yeah, he has to. The desire has to come from within him. I don't know. He does whatever the hell he wants.
As to most of the cool cats in my life.
Yes.
See, you're funny, dude. So, Clay, what has been the toughest part about getting sober for you?
The toughest part about getting sober?
Yeah.
Or staying sober?
Well, let's talk about getting sober. Let's do getting sober first, and then staying sober second.
I mean, the toughest part about getting sober was overthinking everything, trying to figure out things that have been figured out. Having no faith. God had not earned my trust. I didn't trust God. That was really hard. The hardest part about staying sober is probably Um, it's the unnecessary suffering in AA, because of a, well-intentioned but fussy, complicated, altered message.
Is it still a struggle for you?
No.
Are you able to be around people that are, having a couple cocktails, or somebody that might be smoking a joint or something?
Oh, hell yeah. I was a musician for most of my life.
Okay.
And I lived in New York City, which is just a big bar. I've been around alcohol, drugs, all the time. But, it's kind of like the desire to pick up a drink, if you could imagine, is like the opponent in a boxing ring. If that opponent shows up, I might win a few rounds, but I'm going to lose if I'm an alcoholic. The steps they cause the opponent to not show up, which is the only way I can win.
Mm-hmm.
So by living a certain way, like this morning, I looked around, the opponent is not in the ring. And if I continue living this way, the opponent stays out of the ring. And if I stop living this way, then the opponent will show up again. There's no doubt in my mind.
Let's talk a little bit about that. How do you give yourself that home field advantage then throughout your life?
By trying to stay connected to God, by working on my own spiritual demonstration as best I can. That's it. That's enough. And that's everything.
Clay, how do you want to be known?
I want to be known as a famous male model who's really beautiful, who just has perfect features, and I want to be known as somebody who, causes people to privately get off. That's it.
I want to be known as the best damn cat dad ever.
I mean, that's it, If somebody's thinking about me while they masturbate, I'm doing a good job today.
We can't end it there. We cannot end it here.
Okay,
you've ruined that for me forever. Oh my God.
I would, being serious, I think being someone that people feel safe around.
So you want to be just known as somebody you can be safe around, and a good cat dad, and spank bake material.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be in someone's jerk-it circuit. I'm sorry, I keep ruining this ending. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We got a little bit of time. What's your best advice to somebody who is just getting on the recovery, maybe they're 30 days or 90 days, and they're trying to figure this out? What are some of the tools that you use? Meditation, prayer? What are some of the ways that you can help them? Obviously, the steps are big, but anything out of the steps, any special steps that you think are really special?
I think the most important thing is don't try and figure it out. Here's an analogy. Imagine if you invited me over for coffee. All right? Or I invited you over for coffee. And then you came into my house, and then I was in the kitchen for 2 hours. And then you came into the kitchen, and I had the coffee machine taken apart. And I had the toolbox out. And you're like, what are you doing? Aren't we going to have coffee? And I'm like, yeah, I just got to figure this out. I'm just trying to figure this thing out, like how this works. And you'd be like, somebody already figured it out. We put water and coffee in. We're going to have coffee in like 3 minutes. You don't have to figure this out. I think the most important thing that I would say is don't try to figure it out. It's been figured out. Be really dumb. Being intelligent doesn't help. Be fucking stupid. That is the most powerful advice I can give somebody when they're new. I mean, it's already figured out. There's literally nothing to figure out. Nothing. You just have to do it. Just do it and don't think. It's not intellectual at all. It's just the most brilliant thing you can do is be stupid, particularly when it doesn't serve you to be a genius when you're getting sober. It's counterproductive. Just be stupid.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Fall, Rise, Give, where we explore stories of resilience, growth, and giving back. If you enjoyed today's episode, please visit our website at www.fallrisegive.com. Also consider subscribing to our podcast on your favorite platform and leaving us a review. Your feedback helps us to continue to bring you inspiring stories. Stay tuned for our next episode, and remember, every fall is a chance to rise, and every rise is an opportunity to give. Until next time, keep falling, rising, and giving. This is Fall, Rise, Give, produced by podcastforhire.com. Thank you for listening.